So, it's spent, most of today morning and up to now, and there's tremendous energy at the launch of this initiative. For a research initiative, it looks like it's going to be very, very highly impactful. Just to take the timeline that we've seen today, it was discussed many times, that financial inclusion in the country has been the result of many policy changes, primarily on the supply side. There's a creation of the business correspondent ecosystem, and we learned today that we have achieved a massive coverage out there. This was followed by the Digital India, the Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and Mobile Trinity, which has then in turn led to an increased access to bank accounts. And then the digital payment products that we have seen, the Aadhaar-enabled payment system, IMPS and UPI, all of these have increased access to digital payments. Now, the question that keeps coming up is that having done this, is this bouquet of products actually sufficient? Don't we need, in addition to these products, savings, credit, insurance, etc., for this user base? There's a second question. Now that you've got these products, is there sufficient usage? And whether these are indeed helpful to the users? And finally, there was a dimension around financial literacy and awareness and how that is important for customer protection. Now, the launch of the initiative today should actually help us answer some of these questions. It will help us inform a path as where we move from financial access to empowerment and then eventually to financial welfare. And today's workshop gave us very important glimpses into how this research can help us. For instance, and during the different conversations, we learned this, that a 1% increase in the number of banking correspondents increases the likelihood of a woman opening a bank account by over 21%. Then we learned that having a bank account is correlated with higher decision-making power for the women in the house. And finally, on this basis, we see that an increase in women's decision-making leads to increase in consumption, including healthy food. And similarly, an increase in financial inclusion improves their chances to access formal responses to shock. And so overall, we see this linkage going right from the supply side to where it is actually very beneficial to the women in the house and to society in general. And so that, I think, while it's not the right way to join these dots, but this is the kind of path that you would love to see, and to see how the policymakers can design their policies to get the right impact. And finally, in the last panel that we were discussing was how the entrepreneurial ecosystem is then able to learn from what is happening around them, build on top of it, and improve financial inclusion and to empower women in particular. And so this is really what we set out to achieve with this initiative. And it's very exciting to see all of this happen. This initiative is a result of a partnership between IIM Ahmedabad, the Institute of Rural Management at Anand, and the Bharat Inclusion Initiative at CI.co, with generous support from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I would like to thank all of these organizations and the individuals involved for the support of this initiative. I would also like to thank Dr. Michael Patra, Deputy Governor of the RBI, and all our speakers and panelists who contributed to the success of today's launch with their valuable time and inputs. And finally, to all of you in the audience, I would like to thank you for being here, and would love to see you continue to engage with us through this journey that we have. Thanks.